Hi, Gladys. Hello, hi. We are live on Facebook.
All right. That's nice.
And again, I've got to say again, Gladys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, I've got to let the audience know that it took me forever to make you come to Mtandao Varsity, but finally you're here.
Yes, that's what counts.
and look, anyone can Google you and they will know who you are and what you do. But you look extremely young, Dr. Gladys Ngetich. What is the secret?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like young is relative because when I'm with my younger sisters, I'm old. But anyway, I think, I think maybe the secret that I can think about is I enjoy sports and I play soccer and I did track and field quite a bit. So I think a lot of training.
So do you play soccer even now? Like even now you still play?
Yes, I still do. I play for a team in Boston, in the US.
You are joking.
I'm not.
So, well, someone is telling me, and I want us to do that. Someone is saying, Mwambia simame. I won't do that.
This is Kevin, this is Zoom. So you don't want to risk. You don't want to risk.
I know what you mean. Well, listen, so Dr. Gladys, I mean, you are from a very small village in Nakuru.
Yeah.
If you say nobody know where it is really, but things have happened to you very, very fast. Or are we the one? I mean, I don't know, you tell us.
Sorry, I missed that question.
I mean, things have worked very fast for you. Like, from Nakuru, you're at high school, then to university, you're playing football, then to UK, and now MIT. So is it that fast or the journey has been quite long?
It's been long and short. I think it's been, short in the sense that, and I think many people don't know that I actually didn't do master's degree. And maybe that's why I got my PhD relatively young. So immediately after my undergrad, I got my scholarship, the Rhodes Scholarship to go to the University of Oxford in the UK. That was in 2014. And I actually got the scholarship in my final semester of my final year.
Wow, goodness me. So, and again, please carry on.
Anyway, so it was kind of, I've just been in school for forever. That's what I'm trying to say. So, but anyway, I immediately after undergrad, I transitioned the following year, immediately, so 2014, and then graduation was actually July 2015. And September 2015, I was in the UK. So I kind of graduated from undergrad, and then 2 months later, I was in the UK beginning my PhD. And then UK generally, I think it takes relatively shorter time to do a doctoral degree compared to US, I think. Right. And in 4 years, I had my PhD, and it's been short in that sense that I kind of transitioned relatively quickly from one academic institution or one academic stage to the next. And then it's been long in the sense that it's rigorous and so many things that you need to do before you graduate and all those things. So that's why I say it's been short and it's been long. It depends on how you look at it.
And for those that are just joining us, this is Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. My name is Kevin Anyango. I'm speaking to Dr. Gladys Ngetich, currently in Nairobi, but working MIT. Is that what your current job is at MIT?
Yeah.
So, Dr. Gladys, so just go straight to the point now. So you got your PhD at what, 28, 29?
At 28, yes, at 28, because I defended my thesis 2019 December. And I think that's essentially like the end of, once you successfully defend your thesis, that's essentially the end of PhD. But I did graduate last month. So I kind of postponed my graduation because of COVID. I wanted to do it in person. So, but I defended my thesis December of 2019 when I was 28 years. Yeah.
So you are a scientist, Dr. Ngetich.
Yes.
You don't see men, and I know again, if people Google what you've done, one of the things you're saying is that some of the questions you receive is like, you don't look like a scientist, or you don't look like this. And I suppose it's very important for me to understand, when people say you don't look like a scientist, is it because of the gender, because of the looks, or is it the stigma that people have towards smart girls?
I actually don't think it's there. I actually don't think it's people's. It's not their mistake. Because Kevin, if you go to somewhere in rural Kenya, and actually, I mean, I'm saying rural Kenya, I'm stretching it. Like even in town, and then tell a student to sketch a picture of a professor, an engineering professor, or an aerospace engineering professor, I can bet 99.5 or 99.98 will sketch a picture of a man.
Correct.
Not only a man, but an old man, like with bald head or like white hair. And why is that so? I think mostly because the pictures we see in media or elsewhere of representation of that person, and it gets in our mind, it gets in our subconscious mind. And so by default, when you ask me to sketch a picture of a professor, I'm thinking it should be a man. When you think of engineering professor, you're thinking of a man, an older man perhaps. And so I don't think actually it's people's problem. I think it's just because we don't have enough representation of women, as for instance, doing engineering, or women in powerful positions and such things. Yeah, so definitely I found, people have questioned, not really questioned, but like when I introduced myself as an aerospace engineer, people were like, wow. And then in Kenya, people will think it's only men's career.
Correct.
Outside Kenya, now it's a weird mix of race and gender. For instance, so it could be like, because aerospace engineering, I think, is white male dominated, at least from my experience when I was doing my PhD at Oxford. And so now when you bring that perspective, then it becomes gender and race.
Well, if you ask about Kenya, for instance, how many aero scientists are you in Kenya?
Aerospace, there are quite a number, actually. Most of them have been trained abroad. Yeah,
so it's a double figure.
They're quite a number. Not as many as other professions, I would think, but there are quite a number.
So this is a double figure. This is like, it's 20, it's 10 plus.
Oh, definitely. More than 100, I want to think. For instance, Kenyatta University graduates, I think, a class of, I don't know, maybe 40 something, if I'm not wrong. I'm sorry about the numbers, but I know Kenyatta University has they have an aerospace department. Technical University of Kenya, they also have an aerospace or aeronautics department. And all those guys are graduating definitely more than 20 graduates every year. So if you do that math, we definitely have so many of them. They might have transitioned to other fields, or they might not be practicing aerospace engineering, but definitely they've been trained as aerospace engineers. And then we have people like me. I was a mechanical engineer, and then I went to aerospace. So there are also a couple of elements like us who found ourselves in aerospace engineering. So for sure, there are a number. And I don't know the number. It's somewhere in EBK or IEK. That's the Society Institute of Engineers of Kenya. I know they have numbers, but yeah, it's a good number, I think.
No, I know one of your passion is encouraging girls and women to go into STEM, really. Is that achievable? Like, for instance, I know, well, I went to Desa University myself.
Yes.
That's my first degree. And it's during my time, I graduated 2010. And during my time, people associate the university with communication. And that means there are lots of female students graduating compared to male students. Now, in your field, what should we do to encourage more women to go into STEM?
Two things. So the first one that comes in my mind, and mostly I'm saying this based on my own experience, and things that kind of encouraged me to get into engineering. So the first one, I'm calling it visibility of women engineers. And for what you're doing is amazing, Kevin, because now while we are chatting like this, and there are young women maybe tuning in right now, and they can see an additional picture of a woman engineer. And that's very, very important. Those pictures are very important. And then subconsciously, even without you knowing, you actually see yourself as an engineer like Gladys, if you identify, or if you see me as a role model, for instance. I, for sure, I remember when I joined university, JQuat, I did my undergrad at JQuat. And yeah, I could see senior women who are our seniors, women in engineering who are seniors. They were my role models. I don't think they know it, but every time I saw a 50-year woman or a lady in 50th year, oh my goodness, like I could definitely, like they kind of made it easy. There were few, but they kind of made it easy to believe that we could also get there. And so my first point is visibility. So we need to increase visibility of women in these spaces, just so that young girls or young women coming up, they have more pictures of women and they can kind of relate and kind of believe that they can be here. And then number two, I think, is like I said, we need to make it okay, or we need to believe that it's okay. And that goes to general society, goes to brothers, to fathers, to cousins. For sure, personally, I grew up after 4 brothers. And I tell this story a lot because the reason why I'm in engineering is because of them. So it kind of ties to the initial point that I mentioned of visibility. So for me, visibility was through my brothers. They were not women, but they were my brothers, they were my siblings. We used to eat, play together. And the fact that they handled engineering kind of made it easy for me to believe that engineering is handleable. And they actually encouraged me. Although at some point they were hesitant about mechanical engineering bit, because it's like mechanical, they were suggesting that maybe electrical or something more, not masculine like mechanical. But anyway, I wanted mechanical, and they did support me through it. So anyway, my second point I was saying is just support and just making it okay. If a girl, it's not necessary that you do engineering as a course, but if you really enjoy engineering, it should be made okay, and people around the girls should support them in that passion of theirs, if it's engineering or otherwise.
I don't know how I'm struggling to call you doctor, because I mean,
it's okay. You can go with Gladys. It's that cool.
No, I need to calm down a bit, because this is exciting for me. And
Okay.
look, I've got daughters myself, and one of the things that you want your children to do is to do something that they enjoy, to be successful in what they do. And looking at you, it's a huge inspiration. Now, science and sports don't really match, especially from a traditional setup, African traditional setup.
Yeah.
Now, again, your story, you always talk about your mom and how inspiring your mother is in your life. So, for people that don't know, is when you're in university in Kenya, you are among the top best in athletics, like you won some medals. So how does that work, Dr. Gladys? Sports and science, and you're still able to achieve what you've achieved.
And I'm so passionate. Now, you'll have to cut me short, because I'm really passionate about extracurricular activities and soft skills. And I think this is the perfect platform to talk about it. But if I do extend, cut me short.
I've got all the time in the world for you, so carry on.
Yes, so I'll start by saying I actually got Rhodes Scholarship. For those who don't know, Rhodes Scholarship, they don't care. Okay, they do care about your academics, but they don't stop there. So I remember 6th of November 2014, I was seated across a long panel of Rhodes Scholar alumni and some high-profile individuals in Kenya, and they were asking me, why should we give you this scholarship? And they asked the question outside first-class honors. I had first-class honors. And they were asking, for them, that was not enough. First class in mechanical engineering, right? Like you would think that's enough for you to get employment or get a scholarship. For them, it didn't stop there. And they asked me outside class, what else are you bringing? And I went on, and I was like, I'm bringing sports. I was not only running, but I was also captain of the athletics team. I was captain of the soccer team. I was also class president for 5 years. And while I was narrating these things, they were like, wow, like you managed to do all those things and kind of balance them really well. And the reason why I started with that is I'm where I am because of Rhodes Scholarship. And I got Rhodes Scholarship because of extracurricular activities and soft skills, which many employers admire and they kill for it because many students don't have. Like, I feel like we were not, and even while I was doing these sports and all these extracurricular and building all these soft skills, I was doing them because I was passionate about them. I did not know how important they were in the world, not only on a personal level, like just driving your own life and like connecting with other people, but also like if you're looking for job or scholarships, things like that. So it's really important. And I think for students who are tuning in, and I'm the reason, actually the entire reason why I when you talked about soft skills and you're telling people why it's important, it's also very close to my heart. So you were asking, how did I do all those? Number one was passion. Yeah, passion. I love all of them. And that's why I'm still playing soccer up to now. If I was only playing soccer to get the scholarship, then you can guess, like I would have left it long time ago. But I was doing all these things because I love them. And they have a very weird way of connecting to each other. So for instance, you realize that if you are doing a research, for instance, it came so handy when I was doing my PhD, because it gets to a time when your mind is really congested. And if you continue sitting at that table, you are wasting time. And you actually kind of, you are wasting time and you're just killing yourself. So the only natural thing to do when you hit the wall is just get out of there, go play, go do something else. And then when you come back, you find that whatever challenge you had, you kind of solve it even subconsciously while you're playing or whatever, at least for me. So they've kind of, all those things, they've kind of been interconnected over time, and I appreciate all of them equally. So the reason why I was able to do all those was because of passion. And then when I got the scholarship, when I got Rhodes Scholarship because of it, I actually appreciated it more. And then, and like I was saying, during my PhD, I even appreciated soccer and just getting out there and doing other things even more, because it kind of blended very well, or complemented my research life very well.
Well, and I know you're a founder of a foundation that encourages girls, to go into STEM and do whatever they want to do. Your purpose of the foundation is to encourage girls. Now, I want to talk about that, but before then, again, for those that are just joining us, my name is Kevin Anyango, founder of Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. The platform talks about those behaviors or characteristics that employers are looking for. Look, when we started talking before you came on air, one of the things that struck me about you is your clarity of thought. Can people train critical thinking? Can you learn that in school?
Yeah, but you have to be intentional about it. And I think you have to know why it's important. I believe there is very little. I feel like any skill can be learned. At least that's what I believe in. And then the length that it takes for you to learn can be different depending on what skill you are learning. But what my school of thought, my own personal belief is that nothing can't be learned. Like you can learn any skill if you want.
But it's one of those skills that employers want. Like not just employers, even when you have a business or whatever, and you cannot make a decision clearly. You'll be in trouble. So again, I'm going to ask you again. So critical thinking aspect of it. How can we learn? Okay, how can we teach it?
Oh, I think I don't know if I'm right by saying I don't know the entire curricula, CBC curricula, but I'm trying to think that the government and people in the education sector, the entire reason why they were overhauling the 844, they wanted to bring a curricula that encourages things like those, like critical thinking. So telling and kind of training kids when they are young to develop that skill. So telling them, make something and here are the raw materials, and then letting them just think about it, think about how to make it. And I feel like that's one way of training critical thinking. So you go home and you try and critical and creative thinking kind of thing, kind of skills.
Right.
Yeah. So I think they can be taught in such a way.
So I'm saying, so it's not just for scientists. Critical thinking is one of those skills that we all need to be successful in what we do.
Yeah.
How do you make that humble, Dr. Ngetich? I mean, from what you have achieved and who you are, you're really humble. I don't know why. Why are you playing modesty?
That's interesting. I don't. How can you tell that I'm humble?
Oh, you can't. Oh, come on. You know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
But I think again, this is my own personal perspective. If you want to learn, if you want to remain student of life, you have to be in a position where people can teach you. And even right now, because now my story has been out there, I actually had an encounter and we were discussing this same thing. I was with a student, an MSc student. We were in a conference that ended, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? I can't remember correctly. But anyway, we were seated with this student and they were teaching me so much, but because they didn't know who I was. And then towards the end, they saw my badge and they were like, "You are Gladys, who I read the story and all that." And that interaction changed like drastically, and she could no longer kind of teach me whatever she was teaching me. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is I do treasure learning, and I know there's so much. I'm a doctor in aerospace engineering, in a very small, narrow field. Not only, so I don't know. So I still learning. I'm still learning a lot of things in aerospace, and even outside aerospace. There's so much that I'm trying to learn. And I think the only way for me to remain a student and kind of invite people in to teach me is remaining humble. And I think it's just also like, I'm just a human being, right? So I don't see why I should be like above the world or kind of behave as if you're above the world.
No, Gladys, in Kenya, you're a gem. I mean, have you met Obama by the way? Have you met President Obama yet?
No. Maybe in a few years.
So you've not met them yet?
No.
Oh, so you don't have the.
No, you see, I'm not very VIP.
No. In Kenya, you're a gem. Not just in Kenya, in Africa as well. Look, and the reason why you're a gem is 2018. In 2018, Gladys was among the most. I don't have to put. Okay, let me take back my words. You are among the smartest students in the UK. In 2018, that's correct.
Top 10 Black students in the UK. Yeah.
So look, and we're talking about not just out of 10. We're talking about quite a huge number here.
Yeah, the entire UK actually.
That's not an easy feat.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So is it because you're born with it, or is through life experience as well?
Oh, I don't think I was born with it. Maybe there is a portion that I was born with it, but I've definitely worked hard for it.
There's somewhere you said that you had to prove yourself so much because of your color and your gender to be where you are right now.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It goes back to the question that we were chatting about earlier, where when you go in a space where people are not used to women in those spaces. So, and a very good example, and I write it in my first book, which is The Bold Dream, for those who've read it. First semester at JQuat, and I really don't blame my classmates, not at all. Like every time people question me, I don't blame them. It's just because they've never been exposed to someone who looks like me in those spaces. And I now respect it because I'm also biased. If you tell me to sketch maybe a picture of, I don't know, whatever, believe me, my biases will show you, right? So my biases will show up. So first semester at JQuat, first semester in JQuat, there is a classmate, a male classmate was asking me, why did you choose, well, actually the question was, why were you forced to take this course? And I was like, and actually the thing that is really vivid in my mind about that situation is just how worried he looked, not even the question. And I obviously turned and I was like, I was not forced. I wanted to pursue it. And then he was like, wow, I'm really worried because I was told women don't make it past third year. And now, because I'm firstborn girl in my family. My brothers pursued, two of my brothers did engineering, and I was like, okay, maybe the reason why they were able to succeed or like complete engineering because they are guys. And I was actually worried about it, right? And then I think going forward after that, I was kind of trying to prove myself that, hey, you know what, I can actually make it through third year. And then after first year, second year, of kind of proving yourself, trying to get as many A's as possible so that you're kind of invited on the table and all that. Yeah, so they've been moments like those where you show up and people have never seen someone like you trying to do what you're trying to do. It was exactly the same. It was exactly the same thing when I showed up at Oxford in aerospace lab, and we were about maybe 30 something or 40 something PhD students. I was the only Black woman, the only one from an African institution. And it was exactly the same kind of questions, maybe not directly, but yeah, someone ever asked me, oh, so Gladys, what do you do? I was like, my research is in aerospace. And like, cool, you don't look like an aerospace engineer. And automatically in my mind, because maybe they've never seen a Black woman in aerospace engineering, and that's why in their mind, I don't look like the picture of engineers that the person had seen. So anyway, moments like those, I think I want to call, like, so you kind of trying to represent the entire continent, trying to represent the entire Black women population, because now if you fail, you feel like you are letting the entire, because now you are kind of representing the entire Black women population for that kind of person who've never seen a Black woman doing aerospace engineering. So anyway, I was just trying to say, I think moments like those kind of made me feel like I had to prove myself to fit in comfortably in those environments.
What's the issue of race and success, and not just in science? Look, I work in UK myself. I'm employed. I mean, this does pay the bill. I've got what pays the bill, and most of the times, I should feel like I need to work extra hard, to be seen compared to my colleagues. And also sometimes I feel like something's not happening to me because of my color. So I don't know about you in your field where, look, it might be white dominated, but you've got to be smart academically, to be an engineer. So maybe this is not an issue for you. Is this an issue for you? Like you need to work extra hard to be kind of recognized?
Yeah, I think I'm happy you understand that kind of struggle. I feel like as long as you are a minority, be it gender, religion, color, whatever aspect of a human being, I feel like as long as you're a minority in a group of people, you will definitely feel like you have to do more.
For you to be recognized.
Yeah. Or for you, yeah, because for many people, they've never seen maybe a Black person excelling, and you are the first person they are seeing, and you're really trying to protect that image, and it's a lot of pressure on you, because in the end, we should be allowed to be human beings and make errors and change our minds if we want to, but like, because in your mind, you're thinking you're representing the entire population, it's a lot of pressure, and so I don't think it's any one individual's like problem, but I think it's just like a social dynamic thing, and the only way to change that is just to kind of shake up the world and kind of mix people, mix gender, mix color, so that people see many women or many Black men in whatever places, and so it becomes a norm. And I think that's the only way that kind of dynamic can reduce, I think.
No, for girls watching us right now, and they're saying, I cannot study science because hakuna kazi. Or people are just sitting at home. So forget about the academic angle of it, but just girls, not just girls, anyone who's sitting at home and saying hakuna kazi. What do you tell them?
Life is unfair. I think we have to start from there. And I think I remember being shocked with first class in engineering, and I was applying to Kengen, to wherever, all those top engineering firms. I didn't get a job.
No way.
Ended up, many people don't know. I actually ended up working for.
Wait. Are you saying that? Yeah. So this after graduating or not? After you graduated?
After fifth year.
With first class honors.
With first class honors, and I want to say here, because I know many people are doing like online writing. I did online writing to survive in Juja because I wanted to stay in Juja. I didn't want to go home. So I did online writing. Wow. At some point, I was working for I&M Bank. I was working in a bank because at that point, Kevin, like whatever came my way, I was grabbing it because it was either I take that or I go home. My home is a village. We still don't have electricity up to this point. That was a no-go zone for me. I wasn't going back there. And so whatever came my way, I grabbed it. And I think it was a shock and it was a slap on my face. And it was the biggest lesson in my life. Life is unfair. Take it or leave it, life is unfair. And I was expecting that I'll just get first-class honors in mechanical engineering and Kenjan would be queuing at the gate waiting for Gladys. You know, woman engineer, you know, we want you. No, it doesn't work like that. And I think for youth who are getting desperate or like almost losing hope, I think let's just begin from there. That life is unfair. Sometimes you work so hard for an opportunity, someone else who has not worked even as hard as you've worked, they grab that opportunity and they run with it. So I think when we begin from that perspective, then we are more willing to give another chance until you get lucky and you get and your star shines on you and you live happily ever after.
Oh, glad this is interesting. So with the first class honors, you struggled to get attraction.
I did, yeah.
So have you ever worked now with all that you've achieved, you know, sports, scholarships? I mean, we can go on and on. Some of the scholarships you've received, you know, I mean, are quite outstanding. With all those, have you worked in Kenya? Have you ever now been either invited by the government or anyone? Like, have you worked in Kenya?
No, I'm still waiting for the government to invite me. Maybe after today, they might.
Gladys Ngetich. You've never worked in Kenya, even at this particular moment.
Like I told you, I went to the UK immediately after my undergrad, so maybe that's why. But so I finished my undergrad 2014 December. And then I flew September 20, I graduated July and flew out of Kenya 2015 September. So between December when I finished my studies and September when I flew out, that's like almost 1 year. Looking for a job, and I didn't get a job. But I ended up. I don't believe that. Oh, okay. I ended up doing online writing, I think for 3 months. And then I got an I&M bank graduate trainee program. They were training us to be bank managers. I was up for it. Like whatever came my way, I was grabbing it. Anyway, so I think those are actually working for I&M, I think was almost like 3 months is the biggest, is the only actually quality job that I ever did in Kenya before flying out. And then internship here and there. I did internships in hotels, Sarova, White Sands in Mombasa, one in a factory in Kericho.
What are you doing?
Yeah, those were my only like work experience in Kenya.
What are you doing in Sarova? What kind of work are you doing at Sarova?
So you know, Sarova is a 5-star hotel, and they have so many machines kind of supporting their like hospitality industry. So talking about kitchen, they have so many machines in the kitchen, and then the laundry machines, and then air conditioning is like the most important part of, because it's in Mombasa and you don't want air conditioning to go down because it's very hot, right? So that's where we came in, maintaining aircon, chillers, boilers, all those things, laundry machines, kitchen machines, and eating really good food.
Wow. For those joining us, this is Entrepreneur School of Soft Skills. And I'm talking to Dr. Gladys Ngetich, an aeroscientist currently in Kenya. But at the moment, Gladys, you're not looking for work. I mean, you work for MIT, so it doesn't really matter.
I will be looking for a job at some point, but again, I think this is another thing that I've learned, and I forgot to mention when I talked of life is unfair. For youths who are in the same shoes that I was in, or even that I'm in right now, you are asking me where. I think your question is where will you work next and whatever. So correct, currently I'm working at MIT. I don't know what is next for me, but I've learned something also in life, which is I think very important, and it's really helped me. Learn to walk, kutembea. Learn to walk 1 kilometer at a time. Don't focus on 20 kilometers, 50 kilometers. Oh, how about next year? How about 5 years from now? just deal with what you have. Like this week, what do you need to do this week? You need to do this project to graduate. After you graduate, you need to do an internship before you get a job. Just break down and break down that life journey and focus on 1 kilometer at a time. Obviously, once in a while, stretch your mind and think and fantasize about 2 kilometers and 5 kilometers, but focus your effort on 1 kilometer at a time. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just focusing on my postdoctoral research at MIT after that, but I've been also fantasizing about the 2nd kilometer and the 3rd, but yeah, let's focus on this 1 kilometer for now.
So I'm sure there are a few things that you're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And Gladys, is it correct that in 2019, you were part of the Skoll's fellowship? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So with all these accolades and opportunities, you still feel like after MIT, you don't know where you go.
Yeah. It's not like life is unfair.
That's incredible.
From there. Well, so I'm just trying to like prepare myself, but also while I know that I'm marketable and I've been working on myself on those all soft skills and on all the research skills, I still know that someone might see me as overqualified, and I'm asking for whatever salary range, and they tell me they can't afford me, right? So that is also another option. But anyway, I know I trust with the journey that I've had. I trust that opportunities will open up.
You'll be absolutely fine. Listen, if you need a driver, please just give me a call. I'll be with you.
Okay.
I'm very serious about that. Look, just toward the end of the show. I know you need to leave. You're a very busy lady. About your foundation, and you've set up this organization that just encourage women, mostly young girls. Please tell me about that and why. Why is that? Why are you so passionate about that?
The organization is ILU, liw.org, and ILU in Kalenjin means shine.
Oh, so you speak Kalenjin?
Yeah, I speak Kalenjin.
Oh, I think you're Turkana. Okay, I don't know why I thought that way.
You thought I am?
You speak. You're from Turkana.
Oh, well, I mean, Turkana, we are all Nilots, I suppose. So maybe.
Oh, there you go. So I wasn't that bad. I was.
Yeah, you are not.
Please.
Yeah.
So you formed ILU. Why was that, Gladys?
So as you know, Kevin, like we have a lot of problems with education and youths, mostly girls. Like COVID, it really broke my heart. It still breaks my heart. We had so many pregnancies. And for most of those girls, that's just, you get pregnant, that's just the end of your life. And that's just generations and generations and generations kind of spoiled, like lacking opportunities and all that. So in short, so I started ILU, and like I said, it just means shine. And we're trying to help, or trying to motivate, inspire, empower women. We are now opening up, and we do go to schools. If anyone is listening and they want motivational speakers, I'm ready to bring my crew to motivate your students. So we try and go to schools, and we sell our stories. So for instance, when I talk of 298 marks, I think many people know me as 218 marks, 98 marks. That was in 2014. That was in 2004. And barely 15 years, I was graduating with a PhD. Right. Wow. So that's like a massive transformation. And then I sell my story. This is where I started, even maybe lower than that. I know many students, they score more than 298 marks for sure. I had 298 marks. So just selling that story and sharing experiences and tips and tricks that we think that why we've gotten here and all those things. So we started with, actually, I'm using we because I'm running it with two friends of mine. And so the entire reason was just to motivate, inspire students, because I know stories are really powerful, and you just need someone to tell you, I was here 15 years ago and I'm here now. And just because of that, the student will be able to see another alternative or a narrative, a different narrative, or another example of someone who's gone through kind of the same route and they are somewhere else now. And it's really powerful. So that's what we do mostly. We also have, we are bringing in more initiatives like the student exchange program that we want to do We want to do across East Africa, mostly because we can travel without visas within East Africa. And we were asking, why can't we have students from Kenya, 5 students, 10 students every month going to Dar es Salaam? We don't have to concentrate on credit transfer. Just like 1 week before semester ianze, like when people are eating, drinking, and partying, what if we use that 1 week and you go to Dar es Salaam, and 1 week you just tembea Dar es Salaam, see how students are taught, interact with students in University of Dar es Salaam, and you come back. It changes your mind. And that's what happened with me, actually. I got a student exchange program. It was to Norway. And for the first time, crossing Kenya's border and then coming back. Before that time, Kevin, I knew Nairobi was like the biggest city in the world. And then I arrived in Oslo and I was like, you know what? There is another world out there. And so when I went back to Juja was a small village. Like I just wanted to get out of there because in Najua there is a bigger world out there. And so anyway, what we're trying to do with student exchange program that we're gonna bring is to just do that. Get some students from Kenya, take them to some universities in East Africa, Kigali, Makerere. Just 1 week is enough. Interact with students in the local universities and then come back home. And then we do the same with their students. So we still like in the process of getting funding because it's expensive endeavor, transport and accommodation and all those things. But anyway,
so you fundraise for this. So when you say the process of getting funding, that means you fundraise for this. So you like proposals. So you
we are fundraising. We are fundraising for that. Yeah, we are fundraising for that because it's expensive. We have to fund. We want to be as inclusive as possible, and we know most students. Definitely at that time when I was in campus, I couldn't raise like 2,000. Like 2,000 was a lot of money. So anyway, so we're trying to do that, and then once we get funding, we launch the program. So essentially, that's what ILU is about. So we started initially we were just bringing motivational speeches to inspire students and all that, but we are slowly bringing in more initiatives. And the biggest initiative that is coming is the student exchange program, which the students should look out for.
I mean, there's no else. If you're inspiring anyone, I don't know who can inspire you. I mean, your story is incredible. And one thing that I like about this, Gladys, is that in a typical Kenyan setup, with your marks after KCPE, you are doomed. Like, oh, my son, I'm gone. And but here you are, within 15 years, you're a PhD holder. So your background, I suppose what I'm trying to say is, no one should ever give up based on academics or based on the background. Things can always change, and they can always change to the better.
Yeah, absolutely. You've summarized it really well.
No, unbelievable. Listen, I mean, I can listen to you the whole evening, but I cannot thank you, for speaking to me through this platform. I mean, I like the ILU, and I'm very happy to donate something. I mean, listen, I didn't pay you to come here, so with my humility, I really want to give back, and this is through your foundation. So you'll be receiving something from us. I just say thank you for being with us, Dr. Gladys Ngetich.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Oh God, you are so modest, I tell you. It's quite annoying. Anyway, Alex, for those that have me that, this is Mtandao University School of Soft Skills. I'll be speaking to Dr. Gladys Ngetich, an aeroscientist in Nairobi now, but is working research at MIT.
Yes.
Someone just sent me a message saying that you work with Rolls cars as well. Is that
true? So Rolls Royce, actually, I think my project in the UK at the University of Oxford, most of the aerospace research projects, they are in collaboration with Rolls Royce. And Rolls Royce, I think they now focus mostly on jet engines, aircraft engines, and less of cars. I think they sold that car part to some other company. But anyway, my PhD was with Rolls Royce, so the person is wrong. Not the cars, but aircraft engines,
And you got the patent of what you're doing. So you own the right of that, whatever you did.
So because the materials and everything else was Rolls Royce, so it's a unique kind of arrangement. But yes, there is something like that with them.
Oh, Gladys, I cannot tell you, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, and I'm glad we're part of Network now. So was it Chuja? I've got your number and everything, so you can disappear. But listen, thank you very, very much, and I look forward to meeting you at some point.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. It's been a pleasure, and I wish all your audience the best. And keep focusing and keep dreaming And actually, I forgot. You should tell your audience about my book.
Please, can you please tell us about the book?
Yeah, and please share with your audience about the PhD journey book. I don't know if you know about it.
Yes, well, I know. I know that there's something you've talked about.
Yes.
You're wishing someone would have told you how the journey looks like to prepare you.
Yes.
And now you've created that book talking about some of the things students should know before they start the journey.
Yes,
so
and even during the journey.
How can we get this book, Dr. Ngetich?
So through Amazon. So I'll share with you some links for ebook and paperback, and you can share with your audience. So for anyone who is doing MSc or someone undergraduate and thinking about or entertaining the idea of MSc or a PhD, this book will be for you for sure. Because I kind of wrote it, kind of a love letter to Gladys of 2014, because I was really scared about the idea of doing a PhD, but it's not that bad. That's what I'm trying to say in the book. So anyway, if you are in that journey or entertaining the idea of that journey, that would be a book for you. So consider.
How much is it, Dr. Ngetich?
It's going for $19. So in the UK, it would be £15, I suppose.
Right. And so in Kenya, I mean, is this a book that you want to donate to a particular university or particular library? I mean, I think it's quite important, if you ask me. But your parents, as an author of the book, will you want it to be at least in every university? I mean, I don't know. What's your plan? What's the dream here?
If the universities want it. So far, actually, I've been in touch with some universities and some libraries, and we are looking for ways for them to, we are exploring ways for them to get the book. So that's something happening. Yeah, but yeah, if anyone here knows a library or works in a library, I'm happy to chat more. But that would be amazing. Yeah, I would love to do that.
The reason I'm asking is because, you know, Dr. William Mutunga, the CJ, he's a huge fan of community libraries, and most of his books he donates them into various libraries. Have you met Willie?
No.
Oh, come, we've got to meet
Willie. I'm a small person.
Okay, listen, are you free this Friday? I mean, I will connect with you. It's straight away from this call. I will tell Willie he must have coffee with you. He must. Okay. That's
really humbling. I'm happy.
Let me say, Willie. Glad you've never met Willie Mutunga.
I've never.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Well, Captain, you think I can't hear.
Oh my goodness me.
But mostly because I've been out of Kenya. But anyways, Willie is also like a high-profile individual, so you have to be a person of substance to meet with him. So
no, Willie must have met someone like you, because again, Willie is pro women empowerment, especially women like you that can be a good role model, not just for girls, but for everyone in Kenya, young people in Kenya, really. Because when we hear about science, it scares us. So when you talked about visibility, so you're able to relate with you now. Well, look, Gladys, after this call, I'm going to do what I can to have that coffee with Willie, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the experience.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making the connection.
Yes, I will let you go now, but thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.